Hey everyone, Caffeine Man here today to talk to you about a very serious topic. It is a topic that I have wanted to go over for a very long time. Been meaning to make a video on it. And it is an extremely common question that I get a lot, and that is, can kids have caffeine? And more specifically, some kids want to know, can I have energy drinks? I'm going to answer that question today, and in this video, it's going to be an informative video, which to most kids means boring. But if you are a kid and you just started watching this and said, oh man, how boring is it gonna be? Hopefully I can keep you entertained. Hopefully I can keep you distracted. Look at pretty balloons. Oh, look at the cute little puppies. Anything to keep you engaged. And yeah. Boom! Gotta keep you on your toes. Get that blood pumping. Get that adrenaline going. Gotta keep you on your toes. Hello again everyone, thank you so much for joining me today on this very important topic. I really do appreciate you being here, and if you're interested in this content, I do post new videos every Tuesday night and one on the weekends. And most of those videos are energy drink reviews, but I also do care about caffeine safety. So if you want to know more caffeine safety videos, more informative videos, feel free to go to my homepage, scroll down a little bit. It's gonna look like this. I do have a playlist that I put together for you guys to make it easier to find all my caffeine safety videos, because they do tend to get lost in the sea of energy drink reviews that I do. But I do want to let you know caffeine safety is important to me, which is why I'm making this video. And if you like this video, definitely feel free to hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like, and also share this with anyone you think who can get value out of the information. Now there is a small chance, I'm not sure yet, so I'm throwing it out there. There is a small chance that YouTube won't allow comments on this video. It is one of the first videos that I am making, which gives me the option to choose made for kids. And I do definitely want kids to watch this video, so I am clicking that off. So if there are not comments allowed below, I am gonna try to include a thumbnail in my community section into a community post for everyone so that they can leave me comments on what they think of this topic. I will also include timestamps and chapters down below so you can go where you want to go, but I hope that you watch the whole thing, because all the information is going to be important, or at least I'd like to think so. Let's get started. As mentioned, this is a topic that I have wanted to talk about for a long time. It is very important for so many reasons. I am hoping that parents can learn from this video, and I'm hoping that any kids interested in learning about the topic have an attention span long enough to make it through the whole video. Look, pretty fireworks. And I hope that this can actually be educational for everyone. I've actually heard some people say that their teachers have shown my "Are energy drinks bad for you?" video in their class to help teach students about caffeine safety. And I was very humbled by that and very thankful to know that's even happening. I never thought any of my videos would be in school used for learning, but I am very happy that that's happening, and I hope that it does continue to happen. Caffeine education is very important. But why is this topic so important? Well, to be honest, it's all about safety. So far, I've been promoting caffeine safety in all of my videos, and most of those videos are geared towards healthy adults 18 and up, because that's who normally drinks energy drinks. That's my target audience. Therefore, I let everyone know that healthy adults shouldn't consume more than 400 milligrams of caffeine a day, according to many medical websites, etc, etc, etc. But when it comes to kids, they want to know if it's going to be dangerous to have energy drinks. And also, some kids just don't know the dangers of caffeine. It's not something that's normally talked about in your regular everyday health class, but the truth is there are so many adults who don't even know what the caffeine limits are. They might think that energy drinks are bad for you, and then go ahead and drink 10 cups of coffee a day, which is way more than any energy drinks are gonna have. So it's not just about energy drinks, it's about the amount of caffeine you can have a day. Currently, we live in a world where soda sales have declined the last couple of years, which is great because we all know that soda is very unhealthy for you. And at the same time, energy drink sales have definitely increased and are still on the rise. For the past 4 years, they've seen an increased growth in energy drink sales because people are getting away from soda and looking to get healthier with their energy drinks. And if you didn't know, sugar energy drinks are bad for you. Stay away from the sugar ones. But sugar-free energy drinks do tend to be healthier for you in general. So with the rise of energy drink sales, more companies are starting to make more energy drinks because they just want to get their piece of the pie. Even Pepsi bought Rockstar to help increase their sales. So now you have more companies competing for that limited shelf space, and there are so many more energy drinks. Look around you. Look at this wall. Look at my wall that's going to be coming up a little bit later. There are tons of energy drinks out there, and a lot more are getting into convenience stores. And you know, you've been in your local convenience store and you've seen how many energy drinks there are. And with so many energy drinks in stores, it makes it so much easier for kids to get access to these energy drinks. And do you think that a 16-year-old is really gonna pick up a can, turn it to the back, and search high and low for that itty bitty print that says 300 milligrams of caffeine on there? No, they just know that they had a sip of their friend's drink and it tasted amazing, and now they're gonna go buy some. Even if they did know it had 300 milligrams of caffeine in it, would they even know if that's a good or a bad thing? It is so easy to buy these things nowadays, and there is so little information about the topic. I'm sometimes worried that even parents don't know some of these energy drinks. I mean, they might hear, "Mommy, buy me this Sour Patch Kids drink." And there are a lot of candy-flavored energy drinks on the market from different companies. And who knows, maybe a distracted mom might not even know that this is an energy drink. They just think it's a candy-flavored drink. It's Sour Patch. It's got to be fine, right? Well, no. It's got 200 milligrams of caffeine. So should they really be having 200 milligrams of caffeine? Well, I don't know. Is 100 good? 200? 300? 400? Well, why don't we go ahead and start taking a look at some numbers? That's really hard to do in editing. I'm still new to editing. I don't know all the fancy functions. I probably did it the wrong way, but it's to keep you guys attentive. Now, this could be where it gets a little boring. First, we're going to start with what the professionals have to say on this topic, such as medical websites and child specialists. Then we'll go over some of the research studies, just so you can see the scientific, factual numbers on the topic, and we'll even throw in a few live case scenarios. How much caffeine can I have? That's what kids want to know, and that's what parents want to be able to answer their kids. So here's what a few people have to say about the topic. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, also known as AACAP for short, and how is that short? That's a lot of letters. That's AACAP. That's a lot of stuff for being a shortened version. But I guess when you look at the American Academy of Child and Psych, yeah, those 5 letters are a bit easier to say. But they say that there is no proven safe dosage for children. Therefore, pediatricians advise against caffeine at all for children under 12 years of age. They also suggest limiting children over 12 years of age up until 17 years old to no more than 100 milligrams of caffeine. Yeah, 100 milligrams. Why so low though? Well, caffeine has a dose-response effect. So because children's bodies are smaller, it takes less to impact their functioning. Children and adolescents are still developing, and the impact of caffeine on their nervous system and cardiovascular systems is not 100% fully known. But we will take a look at some of the research studies in just a little bit. As for the FDA, the US Food and Drug Administration, they haven't said anything about caffeine and kids, and some people think that they should. However, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the AAP, recommends against caffeine being at all a part of a child's diet. The AAP states that kids should not drink energy drinks and rarely need sports drinks. They say that energy drinks pose potential health risks because of the stimulants they contain and should never be consumed by children or adolescents. Oof, they sound pretty strict to me, if you ask me. My goodness, I don't want any of those people in that group to be my parents, because that's strict. That's strict. But hey, sometimes the stricter you are, the more they might have a chance of listening. I don't know. As for the American Academy of Family Physicians, the AAFP, they state that the FDA should set guidelines for energy drinks. Labels should be standard and truthful, and they are also against the marketing and selling of any energy products to anyone under 18 years old. Now this leads us into our next topic, which can be a little bit controversial. I've mentioned it in a few of my other videos, and I'm not here to start any controversy. I'm not political or anything like that, but the question becomes, should the government get involved when it comes to energy drinks? Should there be age limits on energy drinks, or just caffeinated products in general, because caffeine is the culprit in most of the dangerous cases. Now, I know a lot of people who are not about government intervention. They don't like government at all being involved in this kind of stuff. But I will say that the US is one of the only countries without regulations on caffeine, and we are also the country with the largest amount of caffeine overdoses. Now, all you kids out there, you guys know that 1 and 1 equals 2. So you can see how these things go hand in hand. Unfortunately, adults like to forget that 1 and 1 equal 2, and instead we'll talk about their rights, their constitutions, their freedoms, and everything else, instead of the science and math that 1 and 1 equal 2. And all I have to say about the topic is that all I care about is safety. If a 20-year-old college kid wants to go and chug a whole bunch of energy drinks and then go to the hospital for caffeine overdose, then that is definitely their choice. But no 13-year-old should be rushed to the hospital due to a caffeine overdose because they didn't know they weren't supposed to have that much caffeine. It's not about restricting and shunning kids from it. It's about their safety. Even if they did make a law or an age limit on kids not buying energy drinks, we all know that they're gonna get their hands on it anyway. Let's face it, when kids want to do something, they can. Doesn't matter how many parent protections that they put on the computer, they figure out the password, they will find a way to get an energy drink. There's no doubt about that. So even in this case, the law may not prevent that. But what the law will do, it will make them question, why is it illegal for me to have this? Why am I not allowed to have this until I'm 18? And if they can have that thought, well, then they will actually realize that a certain amount of caffeine is potentially dangerous to them. They still have their freedom of choice to do what they want. They can still choose to have the energy drink or not have the energy drink when they pay their brother to smuggle it out of the store for them. But at least they know and have the knowledge that it could be dangerous to them as opposed to not knowing at all. Therefore, to me, it is just a safety issue, and I want to keep our children safe. It's not political, it's not controversy, but of course I know people are going to leave me comments down below. And go ahead, leave me some comments down below if they're allowed. If not, head on over to my community page, leave some comments there, but just know that I'm not going to argue anyone on this topic. I'm not the type of person who likes to cause controversy or anything. But any profanity in any comments will be deleted automatically. Because once again, I'm not just about caffeine safety, I'm about safety everywhere. I'll keep people safe from my comments. But how many kids are actually consuming caffeine? Is this even something to be concerned about? Well, according to the CDC, did I say who the CDC was already? There's been lots of names. No? The Center of Disease Control, lots of companies or business names or groups to remember, I don't even know what to call them. But they've reported that about 73% of children consume caffeine on any given day. That is 3 out of 4 kids who regularly have caffeine. Most of these children usually get their caffeine from soda, but as of recent years, as mentioned a little bit earlier, some of them have been switching over to energy drinks. So what does the research have to say about energy drinks in kids? The research has brought up some valid concerns about the negative effects that it could have on child development. One of the most researched topics is the link between caffeine and getting less sleep. When children begin drinking caffeine as early as 12 years old, they can develop sleep problems such as shorter sleep times, difficulty falling asleep, poor sleep quality, and sleepiness during the day. The National Sleep Foundation says that lack of sleep can impact mental and physical developments, as well as cause behavioral problems and mood swings. If they continue to use or increase their caffeine intake into high school, they are almost 2 times likely to develop some sleep problems, and teens who have higher caffeine intake also have a higher likelihood of having anxiety. In general, caffeine and anxiety don't mix well, and given the effects of caffeine being a stimulant, it could help reveal minor anxiety issues into bigger anxiety issues. But those are only some of the side effects. Parents often forget that caffeine is a drug, and children who have caffeinated beverages 3 to 4 times a day will experience some form of caffeine withdrawal, such as headaches, fatigue, or muscle aches if they don't get their daily fix. And to be honest, it's not just kids. This is for anyone who has caffeine, adults and kids alike. I mean, here's actually a list of some of the side effects that you will see on any website when you go to look up the side effects of caffeine. And this isn't limited to kids, this is for kids and adults. And these are some of the most common things you will always see. And those are what are considered to be some of the most common side effects, and maybe even some of the less scary side effects, because there are other websites that will post some of the major side effects that could potentially happen, major issues that scare people when they don't actually look into the amount of caffeine the websites are talking about are nausea, vomiting, heart problems, hypothermia, and lots of other scary things out there. And although they are true that they can happen, they don't point out that they could happen if you're having far too much caffeine. So they do like to sometimes scare people on the caffeine front. But that's sometimes if you're researching for regular people. If you're a regular person who is not allowed to have more than 400 milligrams and you're having 600 to 800, then they want you to know if you go any higher than that, these other things can be an issue. But when we are looking at children and you're only supposed to have no more than 100 milligrams a day, having just one drink like Bang at 300 milligrams is tripling the maximum recommended amount for the day. That would definitely put you in the too much caffeine zone. But how else can caffeine affect you, even if you don't get the side effects? Caffeine is absorbed in every body tissue. It increases your heart rate, it increases your blood pressure, it changes your body temperature and gastric juices, it changes how attentive you are, and can cause problems sleeping. As a stimulant, it can change your appetite, and children gain half of their adult weight in their teenage years. If caffeine curbs their appetite in some way, it could affect their growth. So all of these things affect your body physically and mentally. So why would you want to mess around with your body's chemistry? Why do you want to alter something that is still being developed? You're interrupting the natural course of what your body wants to do and potentially causing damage that might be hard to undo. Now, one of the more important health risks that I want to discuss, although less likely but are still very important, are heart issues. And more specifically, undiagnosed heart conditions. It used to be thought that heart issues usually start showing up when you're like 50 years old or something, but that is definitely old school thinking. With advances in modern medicine and continuously increasing advances in technology, we've learned that heart issues can happen at any age. According to the CDC, high rates of obesity and high blood pressure from people between the ages of 35 and 64 are putting them at risk for heart disease earlier in life. Now, although somewhat rare in children, it's estimated that about 40,000 babies are born with a congenital heart disease or defect of some sort each year. Now, that might sound high, but in reality, when we look at how many people are born each year, it's not that high, because in 2020, there were a little bit over 3.5 million people born in the US. And in 2021, about another 3.5 million. So 40,000 babies being born in the US. It's a much smaller number compared to 3.5 billion. And I didn't do the math. I don't like math. Math isn't good for me. But you guys, stay in school, do your math. It'll help you in the future when you have a YouTube channel and need to do math, because math is helpful. I just have a lot of other stuff to go over right now. Focus. Topic at hand. Now, while most of these heart conditions are caught early on, there are some cases where symptoms of an undiagnosed heart condition don't really show up until you do get a little bit older. Now, let me take a moment to tell you about the tragic story of Davis Cripe. Davis Cripe was a 16-year-old high school student in South Carolina. On this particular day, all he had was one Diet Mountain Dew, a McDonald's cafe latte, and an energy drink which name was not released, all within a 2-hour time span. It was only about 500 milligrams of caffeine, which isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things when you start looking at numbers and knowing that healthy adults shouldn't have more than 400. 500 isn't too far away. I know I've definitely hit the 500 mark and over a few times, and I definitely know a lot of other people have also hit that number. And when we're starting to talk about the lethal dose of caffeine, you're looking to much closer to 5 grams, which is 5,000 milligrams, which is known to be close to the lethal dose, and they don't even have an exact number. It's anywhere between 5 grams and 10 grams. So overall, 500 milligrams, not extremely high, but definitely high when you shouldn't be having more than 100 milligrams based on all the other medical research. That being said, it is sad to say that Davis Cripe passed away. Now, the coroner reports that he did not have any heart conditions prior to this event, and there is no history of heart problems in the family. Therefore, he says caffeine overdose was the culprit. But once this story started making national headlines and everyone was up in arms about this because obviously it is a sensitive topic, a lot of other specialists started coming forward and started to agree that there must have been something else at play here, because the caffeine amount was fairly low compared to what the lethal dose of caffeine is. Jeffrey Goldberger, a University of Miami cardiologist and expert on the health effects of caffeine, he's the one who estimated that the amount of caffeine was about 500 milligrams. And he said that this generally would not fall into the category of a lethal dose of caffeine. And he said he was skeptical that caffeine was the cause of death. Instead, he suggested that there was an undiagnosed heart condition, and even though the coroner said there was no sign of a heart condition or previous family history, it's kind of what an undiagnosed heart condition is. You didn't know about it, therefore it was undiagnosed. There was also some suggestion that it could have just been something rare, like a rare sudden cause of death at a young age. And others also said that it wasn't the total caffeine amount, but perhaps it was the way the caffeine was ingested in such a short amount of time, and the body couldn't keep up. Whatever the case may be, 500 milligrams is not considered a lethal dose, but it is 5 times the amount as recommended by most medical websites. And as always, our hearts go out to the Cripes family. Now, this video has mostly been about caffeine and the effects of caffeine on children, but I do have kids that specifically ask if they can have energy drinks or not. Clearly, when it comes to kids and energy drinks, caffeine is the main concern, but we also need to look at a lot of the other ingredients as well. We also know that sugar is very bad for you, so you want to stay away from energy drinks that have sugar in them. But also nowadays, there are a lot of pre-workout energy drinks on the market, and a lot of people don't even know that they're pre-workout drinks anymore because they've become so commonplace to people. No word of a lie, I've had people leave me comments like this when they watch my Rain video and they say Rain is a pre-workout energy drink, and Rain came out several years ago. It was actually created from Monster as a side company to compete with Bang, which is also a pre-workout energy drink, and Rain and Bang are everywhere now. The fridge for Bang is just, they got a whole fridge just full of like 30 different flavors that they have, and does it say pre-workout on the can? It doesn't. None of these drinks do. And why does that actually matter that they're pre-workout energy drinks? Well, because a lot of your pre-workout energy drinks have 300 milligrams of caffeine. And to think that any kid could walk into a store and pick up a 300 milligram Bang, that's usually bad enough as it is. But then you have to take a look at the ingredients. Now, we all know at this point in the video how caffeine affects a growing child's body. And if that's true, and we have that much research on how caffeine affects the body, what the heck are all these pre-workout ingredients going to do to a child's body? I mean, these energy drinks are fairly new, and who is gonna, in their right mind, is going to do a study saying, hey, we should see how alpha size GPC affects a 12-year-old? And like, why would we do that? Is the 12-year-old going to be working out? I mean, exactly, who asks that question? Why would scientists say we should check out these pre-workout supplements on kids? I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't give pre-workout supplements to their kids. So why are you gonna let them have them in a drink? Definitely not enough science on it yet. And I'm not sure if it's high on anyone's priority list. So let me ask you this. Alpha size alpha GPC, beta alanine, betaine anhydrous, carnitine, tyrosine, leucine, isoleucine, arginine, choline, valine, and so many more. Do you really want to be putting those into your body? Do you really want those ingredients that are there to accelerate your body, to promote working out, speeding things up in your system, doing things to your muscle tissue, doing things to your brain? Do you really want all that going through your growing child? And if you're a kid watching this, do you want all those big scary names running through your system, huh? Tell me, kid, if you're watching this, do you know what Uhimbi is? No? Why don't you Google it when your parents aren't home and tell me what you think if you want that in your system. Now, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I really hope you've learned a lot so far. But now you may be asking, Caffeine Man, what's your opinion on the topic? We know what the science says. We know what the research says. So I am going to go ahead. I'm going to give you a little rant based on my opinion, knowing that this is just my opinion. And then I will wrap up this video with the conclusions based on all the information that we've gone forward with. And then you can decide for yourself what you think. Let's face it, caffeine is a drug. It's a legal drug, but it's still a drug. Drugs are stimulants. I have not met a 13 to 17-year-old who couldn't run circles around me on their worst day and my best day. Kids do not need caffeine. They have plenty of natural energy on their own. And the problem is, most kids don't want to listen. Most kids won't listen when I say, you don't need the energy. And one of the biggest problems adults complain about is that kids don't want to listen. They think that they know it all. They're going to say, but Mom, Dad, I'm so tired. I need an energy drink, please. Trust me, kid, you don't know what tired is. If you're tired, it's probably because you've been running around like a maniac driving your parents crazy, tiring them out. If you're tired, it's your body's way of telling you that you need to have a little nap time, go to sleep. And listen, that's not just for kids, that's for adults too. If your body is tired, it usually means that you need to sleep. The problem is, as adults, we got so much stuff we need to do that sometimes we sacrifice sleep in order to get more stuff done. Therefore, they make energy drinks to kind of help us adults out to get more done. But no matter what, there's only so much caffeine can even do for adults. Your bodies need rest. So just because you think you're tired as a kid, think about everything you did that day and say, hey, you know what? I probably should take a nap. Rant done. Let's wrap this up with some conclusions. So what's the bottom line? After all this talk, what's the final answer on kids and caffeine? Well, all of the top medical websites and medical facilities recommend children do not have caffeine, especially those under 12, but most of the medical specialists will also say that if you're between 13 and 17, you shouldn't go over 100 milligrams of caffeine. Research shows that caffeine can have negative side effects on children, which could cause repercussions to their health in the future, as well as side effects that can affect their sleep, and also re-emphasize that caffeine is a drug, and it doesn't matter what your age is, drugs are addictive, and if taken regularly, you will begin to develop a tolerance for it and need more of it as it becomes less effective. Then when you try to reduce your caffeine intake, you will have withdrawals from it and the withdrawal side effects. And if anything, life has proven that you can develop a heart condition at any age, and you could have an undiagnosed heart condition that you don't even know about, thus undiagnosed. And although it is an extremely very rare situation, if you have an undiagnosed heart condition and you have caffeine, they do not mix very well at all, and in some cases have led to death in children. Now knowing all of these things, if you are a kid or a teenager, why would you want to drink energy drinks? The good does not outweigh the bad. You might think that you're tired and need an energy drink, but trust the adults, trust the doctors, trust the medical world as a whole. The medical world is at your fingertips online. All the information is there. Or heck, even just trust me. You don't need energy drinks. Just take a nap. Go to bed. Get some sleep. You have your entire life ahead of you. Be patient. Just wait a few more years. You'll be fine, and it will be worth the wait. Be safe, and until next time, have yourselves a great day. Or night. This is a tough one. This is, I never get it in one take because it's just such a long name. Here we go. The American Academy of Child, the Academy of American Children, the American Academy of Children in Psychiatry, child, the American Academy of Child, the American Academy of Child, the American Academy, that's just not grammatically correct, but it's because it's child and adolescent psychiatry, child and adolescent. Go. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. This video is going to take forever. I'm way overdue. Way over. The American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry